December 5th, 1872. In the heavy mist of the North Atlantic, a ship was spotted sailing erratically. Its sails were tattered, and it was drifting aimlessly with the currents. This historical illustration documents the specific rig and profile of the Mary Celeste, exactly as she appeared when the crew of the Dei Gratia first pulled alongside. When the boarding party reached the deck, they found a rope trailing from the stern into the waves, and 6 months' worth of food sitting in the galley, entirely untouched. Below deck, as shown in this image of the hold, the cargo of wooden barrels remained dense and undisturbed. There was no sign of theft or a struggle for the ship's riches. Yet the ship was a ghost. 10 people, including a veteran captain and his 2-year-old daughter, had completely vanished. A seaworthy ship, fully provisioned, drifting alone. The physical evidence on deck contradicted every standard maritime threat of the 1900s. Captain Benjamin Briggs was a strictly rational, experienced mariner. He was a man who would only leave the safety of a secure vessel under the pressure of an immediate, catastrophic threat. In the personal quarters, investigators found valuable smoking pipes, unspent money, and family keepsakes resting exactly where they had been left during the voyage. This abandonment of personal wealth effectively eliminates the possibility of a pirate attack or a mutiny for profit. Furthermore, a thorough search of the cabins and the upper deck revealed no signs of violence, absolutely no blood, no fractured doors, and no weapons drawn. 10 people fled into the open ocean without leaving a single physical mark behind. To understand why, we have to look into the chemistry of the cargo hold. This photograph shows the construction of the barrels stored in the Mary Celeste. The hold contained 1,701 of these casks, filled with raw industrial alcohol. Wooden barrels of this era carried a hidden flaw. In the high temperatures of a long voyage, the wood expanded, allowing the liquid alcohol to gradually seep through the porous slats. This diagram illustrates the resulting chemical reaction. In the unventilated hold, that leaked alcohol rapidly converted into an invisible, highly combustible gas. Captain Briggs was standing over an invisible bomb. With his wife and young daughter asleep just feet above the cargo, the fear of an imminent explosion would have been absolute. The smell of concentrated alcohol vapors seeping through the floorboards would have signaled a terminal threat to any 19th century crew. One spark, and the ship would be gone. But the gas was only the first catalyst. A second, mechanical failure deep within the ship's pump system likely forced the captain's hand. This gauge shows the error. Debris from the cargo had likely clogged the mechanism, causing the pump to deliver a false read. Briggs was led to believe the ship was taking on water far faster than it actually was. Briggs faced a terrifying convergence of data. His hold was filling with explosive gas, and his own tools told him the ship was sinking. Logic collapsed into immediate panic. While the ship's cargo remained, the sextant used for navigation was gone. Its absence suggests the crew left with a clear intention to find their way home in the lifeboat. The same was true for the chronometer. This precision timepiece, essential for tracking longitude and position at sea, was also missing from the cabin. This was not a blind flight. Captain Briggs loaded his family and crew into the lifeboat with their instruments, intending to tether themselves at a safe distance until the explosive vapors cleared. That rope dangling from the stern into the water points toward the survival plan. Briggs likely used a long tow line to keep the lifeboat at a safe distance from the hull while the hold vented its gas. Then the weather turned. A sudden squall swept across the water, bringing high winds and churning waves that placed extreme tension on the tether. The physics were tragic. The massive, heavy sails of the Mary Celeste caught the gale-force winds, surging the ship forward and snapping the tow line instantly. 10 people sat in a tiny rowboat and watched their only shelter sail away on the wind. Left behind in the middle of the vast ocean, they were never seen again. The Mary Celeste is not a ghost story, but a monument to a deadly convergence of mechanical failure and human panic in an unforgiving environment.